Morning. We've just parked up in Water, a tiny little lay-by park bridge. There's literally only room for one car, but it's the closest you'll ever get to the fell we're going to do today, which is Melbreck. So leaving the car at the bridge, cross the bridge and then take an immediate right where the signpost says Ennerdale, and it'll take you up into this lovely little bit of deciduous woodland called Flass Wood, right below Melbreck, which is just there above me. Follow the front of the fell by this dry stone wall to my right, and a little further up we're going to start heading up the notorious Raven Crags and White Crags, the screes up onto Melbreck. Once past the dry stone wall, carry on along the fence, and a couple hundred yards further up here we're going to take a left and start heading up them screes. Right at the end of the fence here we'll find that path that's going to take us up left. Come on lad, this way. Rises steeply up the hill. There's a couple of guys up there ahead of us. Once we get up this bank through this bracken path, we're going to head up onto that scree path. This is Raven Crag, White Crag is above it. To the left of them we've got Dropping Crag, but you don't want to be anywhere near Dropping Crag. It's very steep and dangerous. Just follow the path up the screes, but just look at this view behind us. White side over there, the Lawton Valley, Loweswater Fells behind me, Loweswater Lake. The screes are very steep, hated by many. I can already hear from the couple ahead of me, one of them's not quite happy. There's a little bit of noise going on up there. So here we are at the bottom of the scree path. Just take your time, plod away at it and you'll get up. It's definitely more of an ascent path than descent. I wouldn't want to come down here, it's a bit steep. Once we get to the top we're going to pass Melbreck's north top, head south along the ridge to its true summit, and then drop down into the valley of Mosdale, where we'll pass the famous Mosdale holly tree and drop back down into Loweswater. I can understand why some folks get a little bit stressed out on their first ascent of this route. It's very steep and slippy, but it is a good path if you take your time. I think because people think Melbreck's one of the small Wainwrights, it's one of the easy ones, but this isn't certainly easy. The big buttress there above me is White Crag, and the path here is well eroded. Yeah, that was a tough little section. All the scree's gone from the path there, so there's nothing really to get your feet into. Just flat and muddy and slippy. It might have been easier following the scree above it, but that doesn't look much better. Path ahead of me now looks a bit better. Heading up to White Crag. White Crag, head left of it and round over the top of it. That's dropping crag. Showing me the way, all the way to the top of White Crag. It's going to be wild up here by the feel of that wind. Whew. We're above the crag. The scree continues towards the summit. Just above White Pike, where this patch of flat grass is, you'll find a famous viewpoint here, looking over Crummock Water and Buttermere. Just look at that, absolutely gorgeous. The viewpoint is just above Dropping Crag, down there below us. Don't attempt to either come up that way or down that way. Steep, dangerous ground. Right then, we'll head for the summit. The north top first, which is a Burkitt, and then we'll head across the ridge to the south top, which is the true summit, and a Wainwright, and a Madeline. Just a couple more little scrambly sections and we're almost there. Look at that! Grass mower, white side. Melbreck's north top, 509 metres. It's a Burkitt. We're going to head along the ridge, drop down into the col, and eventually find the true summit. Just try to put the drone up on the summit there. It ain't gonna happen. Wind's blowing about 30-35 mile an hour on the summit, so the drone just didn't want to know. I only put it up about 3 meters and it decided to take a spin off in the wrong direction of its in the wind. So I thought I'd better bring it back. This is a good day to lose it, so it's not going back up. But just look at that view to the right of me, down the beautiful valley of Mosdale. That's the route we're going to take back. Comes along underneath Encombe and then back to Loweswater. The path from the north summit to the south summit is very well defined. It's very eroded. and a little bit boggy in sections. We're just approaching Melbreck's south top. It's a Wainwright, Burkitt and a Madeline, and it's 512 metres. There it is. So the views are kind of limited off the true summit, but once you start dropping down the end of the ridge, just look at this. Fantastic. Crummock Water, Buttermere, Fleetwood Pike at the end of Buttermere, Red Pike, High Style, High Crag. Just down there at the bottom of the ridge, Melbreck has a third summit, Scale Knott, 338 metres. It's a Burkitt, so I'll take you down there and we'll have a look. So the path in the bottom here to our right will take us into Mosdale, where we're going to head, but we're going to go and have a look at this Burkitt summit of Scale Knott first. There's a vague path up to it. Most people won't visit this viewpoint because it's not a Wainwright, but wait till you see the view off the end of Scale Knott. Scale Knott summit, 338 metres. It's a Burkitt. We'll just head over to the edge for the view. And just look at that view. Straight in front of me there we've got Red Pike and the Buttermere Ridge. We've got Buttermere Lake. Then we've got High Snotrig and Robinson. We've got Crummock Water just below us here, Ranadale Knots, Whiteless Pike, Wandope, Grassmoor and Whiteside. Right then, from Scale Knott we'll head back and find our path into Mosdale. From the bottom of Melbreck here you could actually drop that direction and take the path down the side of Crummock Water, but today we're going to head into Mosdale. Somewhere over there is where we want to be. Here we are. We've got a path here through the bracken dropping down into the bottom of the valley. So I'm in between two paths on the map here, but this looks the better of the three. This is a quad bike track of some description, so this will take us to the footpath that we want. That's going to then take us under Encombe back in the direction of Rosewater. At the fence here we'll turn right and start heading into the valley. Just here by this gate, take a right. That's Encombe straight in front of us now. You'll find some wet stuff down in the bottom of here. There's nought as assured of that. It is swampy. That's better. I think we're out the worst of the swampy stuff. There you go, the beautiful valley of Mosdale. We're walking back on ourselves now. The hill straight ahead of me there is Melbreck's north top where we started, and just down to the left of me there is Mosdale's famous holly tree. It's not often you'll get a tree marked on the map, but this valley's so remote and barren, it's the only tree down here, so Ordnance Survey have deemed it fit to be placed as a landmark. It is a beautiful tree. It's probably been here hundreds of years. So there's the tree there now below us to our left. We're not going to go down to it because the bracken's up and it's a bit of a rough old trod to get down there. There isn't actually a path from here that runs down there, but I have been there in the past and had a look at the tree close up. It is big for a holly. As we leave the valley, the two fells straight ahead of me are Starling Fell and Rosewater Fell. This path will come out at Fosswood where we started early this morning. When you hit Fosswood, leave this track and head slightly right up into the trees, and it'll take us back to where we started this morning. So yeah, we're not far off the car now, about half a mile, so I'm going to wrap my video up here. There's the front of Melbreck just above us. We're back in Fosswood. Yeah, fantastic little walk today, about 5.5, 6 miles. Nice little scramble at the beginning. So yeah, if you like my content, please think about giving me a subscribe. So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from our lad, the Rockstar, who's keen to get back to the car. From Park Bridge near Water, we head through Flass Wood and then steeply climb the scree path up Raven Crag and White Crag to the north summit of Melbreck. Dropping down into the col, we then climb to the south summit, the Wainwright summit and True summit. Dropping down the front ridge to Scale Knott. From Scale Knott, we dropped into the valley of Mosdale, passing the famous Mosdale holly tree, and then followed the valley back to the car at Park Bridge.